That's going to take forever to clean up. Happy New Year's Eve, everybody. This is the last time we are going to talk in 2024. My next video won't be out until 2025, so I wanted to do a 2024 year in review for everything that's happened with my studio and with me with respect to game dev. A lot of you all have been around for part of that journey, so I think you'll find this interesting. I've grouped these things into categories throughout the year. They're not necessarily chronological, but I'll try to mention when they happened at least, so you can kind of keep up. First up, in 2024, let's talk about games. And probably the biggest thing in games for me that happened in 2024 is I launched my first game on Steam. Now, if you saw my video on how sales did, you know that sales did not do, and they still have kind of puttered along. It hasn't been a great seller, but I learned a whole lot in making that game. I started the game back in around November of 2023, and it took me a little over 6 months to actually finish that and actually ship it by July 2024. A lot of things changed during that time too. I kind of screwed up at the beginning and I way overscoped what I thought I could build in that time. And the game actually started as a co-op kind of horde shooter. If you happen to have checked out the game or seen any of my video on that, that is not what it is today. It's a single player game. So I definitely cut co-op out of scope for that to try to ship it and get it out of there. Really, that beginning of 2024 was me grinding away, developing things for Trace Hunters and trying to get it in a state that I could release. It was a serious slog, but I also enjoyed it, so do with that what you will. I still think making games is fun. I'm still doing it. We'll hear more about that later. Now, after Trace Hunters released, you may have heard me say that I was going to make a horror game, and I did try to do that. I spent quite a bit of time prototyping different ideas. I wrote some different plot lines for a horror game, and it was a lot of fun. Ultimately, though, I didn't get anything together in time to ship that by Halloween, which was a pretty aggressive schedule, to be honest. What I did do, though, is really get a lot of enjoyment out of watching people playtest the prototypes that I made, seeing them jump out of their seats, scream, jump around, that kind of thing. It was really cool. So I may look at making a horror game sometime in the future just to get some more of that. Maybe it's some weird personal satisfaction thing, but I think people are going to like the game. I did learn a lot in just that short dive of what makes horror games tick. I learned about using light and sound to create rising and falling tension in the game and create an experience, albeit short, that people actually enjoyed and liked going through. So I think I might be onto something there. Moving on to our next bucket of items in 2024, content. It's what brings all of you here that are watching this video, and that's I started this YouTube channel. I started this maybe around November timeframe, a little bit earlier than that, after I decided I wasn't going to make that horror game anymore. And at that point in time, I was just like, why not? Let's try it out. Turns out that the channel has grown into over 1,000 subscribers. Thank you all for those of you that have hit the subscribe button and listened to me yap at you for at least 10 minutes of your day. Hopefully this has been good for you. Hopefully you've enjoyed some of the stuff I've talked about and you've learned a thing or two about game devs that you can take into your own games and build more of them. Good news for you, I'm going to keep doing these. I'm going to keep doing them at twice per week, just like I have been for the foreseeable future in 2025, so we'll see each other some more then. Besides just subscribers during that time, though, I did have a couple other things happen with the channel. I got 3 affiliate partners. I usually link them down in my video descriptions. I also link them in my channel descriptions. I wouldn't talk about any of these things at all if I didn't think they were good tools to use, so hopefully you enjoy them and you get some value out of them too. Those would be Fiverr, where you can basically go hire someone to do anything you like. Ovani Sound, who makes some really cool sound packs. They work for Unity, they work for Godot, they work for Unreal. All of the sound I had in Trace Hunters used sound packs from Ovani. Check them out if you're looking for a little sound. The last one is a company called Card, and this is actually something I've used for years. It's not a gaming product, it's for making websites. And I think that it's a really good way to make websites. You make them quickly, you don't have to mess around with CSS or any of that garbage that I really hate doing. Card is a great no-code tool for building out landing pages for your studio, for your game, for whatever really you want to do with it. Last thing about the YouTube channel, I will say that my time to create content has gone down considerably. While every single video I've done is just a single shot recording of me talking to my camera and seeing what comes out, the quality of those has generally gone up, I feel like. Hopefully you guys agree with me. Maybe you don't, and you'll let me know about that. But I really think it's coming together a little better. I can get these 2 videos out pretty quickly now. I tend to do them in a single day. And my video quality is going up outside of the dark times that we won't mention. Last thing on the content front for 2024, I started, stopped, and started again a newsletter. I've not talked about this on video yet. I've discreetly put a link into my channel description to see if anybody would check it out. But I do have a newsletter now. I'm putting these out once per week. They come out on Friday at 8 a.m. Pacific. So if you're interested in written form, that's a good place to go to check out some of the things that I talk about. Topics are similar, but I also have gone into more depth on certain things. So, for example, what I learned about lighting and sound is a newsletter article. If that's something you want to check out, I'll also stick the link down in the video description. This past year, I've also got a lot better at almost everything with respect to game dev. And as you know, if you've been around the channel a little bit, I'm all about continuous improvement and failing quickly to learn from your mistakes and get moving forward. So I've done that several times by now. In particular, though, I think there's two areas that are important to mention. One of those is I try to make a lot of templates. So I templatize all kinds of things because I'm one person and I need to get through them quickly. And the way that I do that is I try to create little templates and little paths for myself based on things that I make or things that I find from other people, and I follow them, I see what works, and then I tweak them. The ones that I think have really improved over this past year are about the game pre-production process. So my game design document template, which I made a video about, it's still improving. I have some other things with respect to looking at comparison games, with respect to prototyping games, that I'm still iterating on a bit. They're not really in a stage where I could talk about them with anyone else. Outside of those templates, which really help me do a lot of the things that I do, I've definitely leveled up in art skills. My 2D art, my 3D art, my technical art have all improved. I think even if you're a programmer, even if you're a technical type, it is in your benefit to improve your art skills, even if you're working with an artist on your game, because it helps you to communicate a whole lot better. I'll give you an example. I'm working on a game right now. Shocker, I know. And I drew several concept sketches for what I want the Steam capsule for that game to be like. In those sketches, I mostly focused on the perspective and the composition of the image and getting the elements in the right place. When I went on Fiverr to go hire someone to make that into a real Steam capsule that wasn't crappy art like mine, I gave them my sketches. And both me and the artist thought that that was really helpful in communicating what it was I wanted to bring about in this capsule image. With those sketches, they were able to take that sketch and turn it into something that I think is really cool. In terms of technical art, I've really been diving into materials in Unreal Engine. I've been trying to level up so that I can make some pretty cool effects. And I'm getting a lot better at that. I'm getting a lot faster with it. I'm much more comfortable than I used to be going in and making materials and doing weird things with shaders. That's what I'm looking to bring more into the games in 2025. That final thing I want to talk about here, I have been working on this in 2024, and I've saved it for you dedicated few that watch this till the end of the video. I do, in 2025, have a Steam page coming for my next game. I'm not going to show it to you here. I'm not going to show you anything about it, but if you remember the Mana Forge prototype that I worked on, that was a casual, kind of chill city builder game, which at that point in time, the prototype was just default cubes being drug around somewhere. I will have another video that talks about a couple things that I want to try for 2025. They're not New Year's resolutions though, because I don't believe in those things. So more to come in 2025. I'll definitely have videos on all this stuff. For now though, I'll see you next year.